A loving husband surprises his wife with a vibrant pink Porsche for their anniversary, sparking envy and rage from the controlling HOA president. What begins as petty rule-bending escalates into harassment, fraud, and attempted theft, until undeniable video evidence, clever traps, and community outrage topple the tyrant for good. That I want to make my wife's 15th anniversary unforgettable. So I surprised her with a 2023 Porsche 911 Carrera finished in dazzling bubblegum pink. The delivery truck eased the car down our driveway in the polished suburb of Steam Lake County, and her face exploded with pure delight. That single joyful gasp made the extravagant cost feel like nothing. She ran her fingers along the smooth curves with the same awe she reserves for the final slice of chocolate cake. For roughly a minute and a half, the world was flawless. Then the hurricane arrived, and its name was Karen Colston. Karen ruled our HOA like a dictator in pastel golf attire. She patrolled in her electric cart, armed with clipboard and flashing lights, issuing citations for blades of grass 1 millimeter too long or trash bins left out 11 minutes past curfew. Her house was the color of weak tea, matching her personality perfectly. She strode across her lawn the moment the delivery truck pulled away, clipboard raised like a battle standard. I wrapped an arm around my wife and prepared for battle. What in the world is that? Karen demanded, her voice low and dangerous enough to silence nearby birds. She jabbed a shaking finger at the Porsche, disgust and naked jealousy twisting her features. It's a car, Karen, I answered evenly. Street legal, fully paid, bright pink. My wife's anniversary gift. My wife, always the peacemaker, offered a warm smile. We're so happy with it, Karen. Isn't the color gorgeous? Karen ignored her completely, eyes glued to the shimmering paint. That shade violates Section C, Paragraph 4A of the aesthetic standards, she hissed. All visible vehicles must be painted in muted, natural tones. I actually laughed. Karen, it's not a house exterior. I've read the covenants twice. There's no vehicle color rule. You're inventing authority. Her face flushed a furious crimson that clashed violently with her mint green polo. Being challenged in public was her personal nightmare. She stepped closer, voice climbing. I am the president of this association, Frank Stewart. I decide what the rules mean, and that abomination is in violation. Neighbors began peeking from windows. The delivery driver quietly retreated. Just then a sheriff's patrol car drifted down the street on routine patrol. The deputy lowered his window, voice calm and tired. Everything okay here? Karen whirled toward him, eyes wild with dramatic urgency. Officer, thank goodness. This man is creating a neighborhood eyesore. That thing must be removed immediately. It's offensive. The deputy glanced from Karen's twisted expression to the gleaming sports car, then to me. I shrugged. Anniversary surprise for my wife, officer. Just arrived. My wife added gently, we're sorry for any disturbance. We were just enjoying the moment. The deputy gave a small nod, lips twitching. Ma'am, he told Karen, it's a pink car in a private driveway. No ordinance prohibits that. And HOAs cannot tow from private property without a court order. Karen's mask cracked. The raw hunger beneath her control surfaced for everyone to see. She pointed at the Porsche again, voice rising to a shriek that echoed down the block. I don't care. I want it gone. I want this car. Great, I replied dryly. I'll trade you your house for store credit. Silence. She hadn't meant gone. She meant mine for free. This wasn't enforcement. This was covetousness wearing a badge of office. The deputy placed a hand near his belt. Ma'am, lower your voice and return to your property. Karen shot me a look of pure poison, spun, and marched back to her beige stronghold. The deputy gave me a sympathetic glance that said, brace yourself before driving off. Standing beside the car with my wife, I knew the declaration of war had just been screamed in front of witnesses. That night we sat on the porch as the sky turned shades eerily close to the Porsche's hue. My wife was quiet, the anniversary joy overshadowed by ugliness. She never panics, she calculates. She won't drop this, will she? She asked softly. Not a chance, I said. People like Karen run on desire, not logic. She wants the car, or at least the power to take it away. I sip my drink. I've tolerated her notes about wreath sizes and grass height for years. This feels different, personal. So what now? We fortify. I answer with a tight smile. We document obsessively. We play her game smarter. My uncle used to say you can't argue with a tornado. You board the windows and wait out. Karen was our tornado. Time to start hammering. Next morning, I upgraded security. Additional high-resolution motion cameras covering driveway and street, night vision, cloud storage, GPS tracker on the Porsche. All footage backed up. Evidence defeats bluster. Several days passed in unsettling quiet. No golf cart patrols near our house. The silence felt heavier than her usual harassment. Then, Wednesday, just past midnight, my phone lit with an alert. Heart racing, I opened the live feed. A large tow truck, yellow lights pulsing silently, was reversing toward the Porsche. I woke my wife. It's happening. We watched the feed together. A stocky man in a stained jumpsuit stepped out, glancing nervously toward Karen's dark home. He began hooking chains to the axle. I activated the camera mic. My voice blasted clearly through the speaker. Evening. Need assistance. The driver jumped, nearly striking his head. He stared at the camera. HOA violation work order, he muttered. Not for a private driveway. I replied evenly. No court order, no tow. That's our property. You're on camera, video and audio. Trespass and conversion are felonies. Unhook and leave now. My wife added firmly. We advise you to comply immediately. He froze, weighing risk against payoff. Then he quickly detached the chain, tossed it into the truck, jumped in, and sped away. Adrenaline faded slowly. We had repelled the first theft attempt, but Karen had crossed into criminal territory. Obsession had become a felony intent. The following morning, a notice was taped to our door. HOA letterhead, citing fictitious Bylaw 7G, driveway projection and aesthetic harmony ordinance. It claimed the car extended too far into community visual space, fining us $200 plus $50 daily. Pure fabrication. No notice, no vote, no due process. Karen had failed at stealth, so she invented legislation overnight. Fighting self-written laws required public exposure and ridicule. 2 days later, I was detailing the Porsche, our weekly act of resistance, when Karen approached on foot, trailed by her nervous lackey from the architectural committee, clutching, you guessed it, a clipboard. She carried an industrial tape measure. Mr. Stewart, she barked, halting at the driveway edge. Official measurement for Bylaw 7G compliance. I set down the cloth, leaned against the car, and smiled pleasantly. Karen, always a pleasure. Bring your minion to work day. Her sidekick flushed. She ignored the jab. This is a mandated inspection. You're accruing daily penalties. Our neighbor Al, a retired engineer, spoke without looking up from his project. That bylaw is invalid. Emergency rules require 48-hour notice and supermajority board approval. Yours appeared online yesterday afternoon, procedurally void. Marie, retired teacher and gossip maestro, chimed in cheerfully while watering roses. Karen dear, is this still about the pink car? Betty on Oak said her cousin at the tow company told her you offered $500 cash for a late-night pickup. Imagine. Karen's face turned an alarming shade of violet. She thrust the tape at her assistant. Measure. I started recording. For documentation. Karen Kololston and Associates conducting unauthorized inspection under fictitious bylaw. We're on the easement, she shrieked. The assistant stretched the tape from sidewalk crack to bumper. 4.5 inches, Karen crowed triumphantly. I stepped closer, phone steady. Interesting methodology, Karen. Did you base the projection line on geometry, optics, or just pick a convenient crack? It's about visual harmony, she sputtered. Whose harmony? I'll ask dryly. The chipmunks? From my porch the car looks cheerful. Marie smiled sweetly. It reminds me of cherry blossoms. Karen had lost her audience. Logic and kindness had outflanked her. She glared, tape measure drooping. You'll hear from the Association Council. Legally binding fine. Excellent, I said, zooming in. I'll forward this clip and the midnight tow attempt. I'm sure he'll appreciate the harmony. She snatched the tape, snapped at her assistant, and stormed off. He scurried behind. We returned to our tasks. But escalation was inevitable. Desperation makes tyrants reckless. After the tape measure farce, defense alone wasn't enough. Karen had declared total war. Time for measured counterstrikes, legal, creative, and maximally annoying. Phase 1. Operation Pink Flamingo. I ordered 50 plastic flamingos in matching bubblegum shade. Under cover of darkness, Al and I arranged them in formation around the Porsche on our lawn, with a sign, Aesthetic Harmony, Pink Division. Next morning, Karen nearly crashed her golf cart staring at the Flamingo Brigade, saluting her enemy. I savored my coffee from the window. Phase 2. Weaponizing her own rulebook. I scoured the covenants and found forgotten absurdities. Section F. 12 required golf cart tires at exactly 30 psi for roadway preservation. Whenever Karen passed, I waved cheerfully, holding a gauge. Morning, Karen. Citizen compliance check. Mind if I verify your tire pressure? We can't degrade the pavement. She would stammer. I'm in a hurry, and accelerate away. Soon she changed routes. Marie ran psychological operations. At the mailbox, she'd share elaborate tales of tyrannical HOA presidents sued into ruin for misusing funds and personal harassment. Terrible outcome. Karen, they lost the house. Can you imagine anyone so dishonest? She'd pat Karen's arm sympathetically and leave her pale and nauseated. I added visual taunts. A custom sunshade for the Porsche reading Karen's dream ride. I formally petitioned the board that the car qualified as a month-long personal celebratory display, exempt from color rules, complete with citations. My wife drove it everywhere, offering regal waves past Karen's house. The car transformed from violation into a living symbol of our joy and defiance. For 2 weeks, we enjoyed small victories. Al filed precise, anonymous complaints about Karen's own minor infractions. A downspout fractionally over the line, mailbox flag, slightly wrong hue. Rules required reading them aloud at meetings, forcing Karen to announce critiques of her property. But fines kept arriving, letters growing more menacing. A wounded despot is unpredictable. We were goading the beast. Sooner or later it would lash out violently. The turning point arrived on a bright Tuesday. Karen escalated beyond rules into physical danger. My wife had taken the Porsche for routine errands. I was on a work call when her number flashed. Unease hit instantly. She never calls during errands unless urgent. Frank, I'm okay, she said tightly, but come to Steam Lake Drive in Willow Way. There's been a collision. I was out the door mid-sentence. I arrived at flashing lights. My wife stood calmly beside the Porsche speaking with a deputy. Karen performed theatrical hysterics for another officer, clutching her neck, sobbing about whiplash and reckless menace. I rushed my wife. You sure you're all right? Fine, she assured me. Stopped legally at the sign. Saw her SUV closing fast. It was a deliberate nudge, not an accident. The Porsche had a faint scuff on the rear bumper. Karen's heavy SUV showed zero damage. I approached Karen mid-performance. Fascinating account, Karen. Especially since the Porsche has front and rear-facing 4K dash cams with audio, uploading live to the cloud. I wonder what they captured. Karen's sobs choked off. Color vanished from her cheeks. Her injured hand fell limp. The deputy perked up. You have video, sir? Ready to transfer, I said, opening my phone. Karen stammered. Manipulated fake. He's technical. Too late. The deputy watched on his laptop. Moments later, he issued Karen a citation for following too closely and causing a collision. Her insurance would pay. As her SUV was towed, she claimed it was now undrivable. She glared pure murder. She had risked lives to claim the car. No more games. We shifted to offense. Dismantle her completely before she hurt someone. The home office became a command center. Whiteboard headline. Does proof defeat power? Dashcam footage. Exhibit. Deliberate acceleration and impact. Karen's face visible. Doorbell clip of midnight tow. Exhibit B. All fabricated fines and letters. Exhibit C. Showing pattern. Threatening voicemails. Exhibit D. Sheriff dispatch logs confirming Karen-initiated calls. Exhibit E. Marie gathered neighbor affidavits about similar abuse. Exhibit F. I met HOA attorney Arthur Jenkins. Spread evidence methodically. Explained misuse of funds. Attempted illegal tow. Stage collision creating massive liability. Arthur sighed deeply. I've seen power trips. This is an obsession. I outlined the sting. He confirmed legality if the accomplice consented and recording occurred without privacy expectation. Green light received. Next, recruit the tow driver, Mel. Met him discreetly, offered cash, and escaped from Karen's influence. He agreed, tired of her special jobs. Marie planted bait. Spread rumor that we were leaving town for a family emergency, storing Porsche at a remote self-storage lot on Route 9. Outdoor spot, supposedly low surveillance. We wired the space with our own hidden 4K cameras. Owner consented. Mel wore an audio recorder. Friday night, my wife parked the car and left. We monitored from a distance. Past 1 a.m., Karen's SUV arrived, followed by Mel's truck. Audio later synced with video was devastating. Mel, hesitant. You sure, Mrs. Colston? Cameras. Karen, sharp, my contact disabled them. Emergency removal, nuisance violation. I have authority. Mel, no paperwork? Usually I need signed order. Karen, filed retroactively. Double pay. Hook it up. Mel, confirming. You, Karen Colston, order me to remove this Porsche from private rented property without legal authority or owner consent. Karen, yes. Do it before we're seen. We watch the lift, heart-sick but victorious. Felony on tape. Deputies and a lot owner arrived. Porsche returned safely. Mel gave a full statement. The annual HOA meeting arrived. The clubhouse overflowed. Word had spread. Karen presided smugly, oblivious. Open forum, I rose. Presentation concerning serious misconduct and liability by HOA president. Karen scoffed. Arthur nodded subtly. She couldn't block. Screen lit. Stunning photo of pink Porsche. I narrated calmly. A sidewalk meltdown. I want this car for free. Midnight tow attempt. Tape measure farce. Room laughed. Threatening voicemails. Silence fell. Dashcam collision. Gasps. Finale. Storage lot sting. Karen ordering felony tow, admitting camera tampering, dismissing paperwork. The room exploded. Shouts of thief. Resign. Karen screamed denials. Ignored. She bolted outside. Spotted me. Charged. Shoved hard. Assault. Deputies, pre-alerted, intervened. Eyewitnesses everywhere. Karen deflated, drove away defeated. Al unveiled a recall petition. The line formed instantly. Karen resigned the next day. A for sale sign appeared soon after. The new board voided fake bylaws and fines, issued apology and repair reimbursement. They auctioned Karen's surveillance toys and golf cart for charity. Proceeds to animal shelter. Pink Porsche parked proudly beside the auction table, now a symbol of liberation. Peace returned. We drove long, open roads, wind rushing, my wife smiling that same radiant smile from delivery day. Was it worth it? She asked. Never about the car, I said. About refusing to let a bully steal joy. Proof, gathered carefully and shown fearlessly, dismantles power built on darkness. We cruise, windows down, no destination, just freedom. The pink Porsche remains in our driveway. Cheerful reminder. Sometimes the only response to greed is unyielding truth.